Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
All right, today we're diving into the just concluded 2025 Nigerian Bar Association Annual General Conference held in the city of Enugu. It was held between August 22nd to August 29. And the theme of this year's conference was Stand Out, Stand Tall, a powerful call to action for legal professionals to rise above mediocrity, embrace excellence, and champion justice in a rapidly changing world. With that, I say good morning and welcome to the agenda. Over the next 45 minutes, 50 minutes thereabout, we'll highlight the key take-home points from this landmark event, which brought together over 20,000 lawyers, policymakers, and global thought leaders. Well, for today, there's no guest. It's just me, breaking down the insights, lessons, and action points that every legal professional and engaged citizen should carry forward. Well, the theme, Stand Out, Stand Tall, was not just a catchy phrase. It was a rallying cry for lawyers to embody excellence, courage, and integrity. The Nigerian Bar Association President, Mazi Afam Osigwe, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, set the tone during the opening ceremony at Enugu's International Conference Center on August 24, 2025. Afam Osigwe, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, urged lawyers to be unbending in their defense of the rule of law, especially in the face of Nigeria's socio-economic challenges. His words, and I quote, "Standing tall means having the courage of conviction in moments where silence would be more comfortable," resonated deeply with attendees. This theme was woven into every aspect of the conference, from keynote addresses to breakout sessions, and even the social events that celebrated Enugu's rich cultural heritage. So what were the key take-home points? I've distilled them into about 3 major themes. And I believe these themes captured the essence of the Nigerian Bar Association Annual General Conference 2025. Let's start with the take-home point number 1, which talks about upholding the rule of law in crisis. The decision to relocate the conference from Port Harcourt to Enugu was a bold statement in itself. The Nigerian Bar Association cited unconstitutional governance in Rivers State specifically, the appointment of a sole administrator, and the suspension of democratic institutions as the reason for the move. This wasn't just about logistics, it was about principle. Period. The Nigerian Bar Association refused to hold its flagship event in a state where the rule of law was under threat, thereby sending a clear message that lawyers must stand tall against violations of the Nigerian Constitution. This take-home point challenges every legal professional to prioritize justice over convenience. Whether you are in the courtroom or you are advising a client, the question is, are you standing tall for the rule of law, even when it is uncomfortable? For example, that conference highlighted how lawyers can challenge constitutional actions through strategic litigation and public advocacy. It is a reminder that silence in the face of injustice is not an option. Femi Falana, senior advocate of Nigeria, in his speech, took a swipe at security agencies on the rule of law, and also speaking to lawyers to wake up. Don't sleep. Wake up. Femi Falana here.
The books are there. We have today, Nigeria has the best human rights regime on paper. Our human rights laws, Britain has no constitution. From Magna Carta and the rest of them, we have gone ahead of them. The police officer, the AIG, was reading out provisions of the Police Establishment Act since 2015, Administration of Criminal Justice Act has provided us, when a Nigerian is taken to a police station, the first thing the police officer, SSS officer, EFCC must do is to ask for your contact, your next of kin. Ask for the number and call. Mr. Falana is here. Gone are the days when I was captured in Lagos, dumped in Mawadashi prison in Jigawa State, and the prison authority assembled everybody. Nobody must know that Mr. Falana is here. We have gone beyond that. It took 9 months. The more my wife here could locate me. Today, the moment I get to a police station, my family must know. 2, the police must read out what they call the Miranda rights in America. This is not a civil case. You have not been arrested in lieu of another person. Do you want to make a statement? Do you have a lawyer? Please, if you have no lawyer, under the ADGA and under the Police Establishment Act 2020, the police officer will call the legal aid council. Please, there is a Nigerian here. Can you send a lawyer? Do you understand what I'm saying? Your work as a lawyer starts from the police station. When you go to a police station, say, please, lawyer. No. Go and wait for court. No. That belongs to the past. But let me tell you, NDA, you want to stand out? You want to stand tall? You have your job cut out for you. The Police Act, I'm happy. My left colleague is talking of. There gender sensitivity. If you join the police force as a woman, you could not marry until after 3 years. Oh yes. My wife went to court, Wheeler, against Attorney General of the Federation, and the Attorney General came to court. We are trying to protect the women. We don't want them to fall into dangerous hands. And the court said, since this law is not applicable to men, this law is struck down. Today, women can join the police force today and marry tomorrow. Secondly, and they have complied. Secondly, if you become pregnant and you are not married in the police force, instant dismissal. A woman was dismissed in Ekiti, and the Inspector General of Police called me. Femi, talk to your wife. Why is she supporting this thing? This woman know before she joined the police force. I said, my friend, I won't mention the IG. But your predecessor impregnated his secretary. Did you dismiss him? Now, my wife went to court, Omonala and Inspector General of Police. The court struck down the law. The woman has been reinstated. She has been promoted to the rank of her colleagues. The army, please, my brother. You have abandoned your constitutional duty under Section 217 of the Constitution. The armed forces shall be in charge of protect the territorial integrity of Nigeria. Section 215, the police shall be in charge of law and order. Section 218, if there is insurrection, mutiny, the armed forces may be called to aid civil authorities, that is the police. But you can't start first. You are no longer aiding. You have hijacked the powers of the police. Now, in the case of Femi Gbajabiamila and President Jonathan, in the case of Bonko and President Jonathan, APC people, when they were outside, they brought the courts, APC and PDP. The Court of Appeal said, whoever mobilized the police to participate in the election of Ekiti, no, the army, committed a breach of the Constitution. Therefore, armed forces, you are not involved in election management. Because on the day of election in Nigeria, everybody is asked to stay at home. So the police can do its work. What is the business of the army? To get involved in election management. So, in 2014, the armed forces dismissed a general and some officers who were involved in the management of Ekiti elections. Also, 2019, the Chief of Army Staff, General Buratai, woke up one day and said, with effect from December 1, everybody moving on the road in Nigeria will be subjected to a search. Call it Operation Security. I went to court. Thou shalt not violate my right to freedom of movement. And I won the case. Hence, please, let me just rush. This is the meat of my submission. Please, my friend Michael Sokomi has made the point. National security is different from government security. We were one charged with treason by a military dictator, Babangida, Gani and myself and 3 others. What of us told the judge? Babangida and others are coup plotters. They subverted national security. Who are they now to charge us with treason? We're only asking for democracy. These guys are coup plotters. They subverted national security. Meanwhile, they were in government. The other point I beg you, and I'm challenging our colleagues, after this meeting I beg you, each branch must meet the Commissioner of Police in the state, armed with Aja and Police Establishment Act. We have done it in Lagos. The one that the learned police officer did not mention is Section 34 of AJA and Section 70 of Police Act. What did they say? Not less than a month, once a month, the chief magistrate in every magisterial district shall conduct a visitation to all the police stations. Our judges must also go to the detention centers of the army, the EFCC, ICPC, all of them, and inspect and make reports. I'm just concluding. Now,
you ought to have concluded.
Yes. I want us to do that. Once we get
No, you are taking the other time.
No,
1 minute.
I have adopted my paper. I'm just expatiating for 1 minute. Mr. Chairman, sir, and I'm challenging our colleagues. Poverty in our country has been addressed by law. What are we doing about this? Every Nigerian child shall be in school compulsorily from primary to junior secondary school. Child's Rights Law, Section 15. Compulsory free education law, Section 2. So when we live here, we must be determined to remove 18.3 million children out of school and compel our state government to put them in school. The last law is National Social Investment Program Act. All those things there. Cash transfer, empower, a meal a day for every child in primary school have now been codified. Mr. President, when we live here, the NBA must ensure that this law is enforced. My friend mine, please, I just want to make this correction because you incited me by reminding the audience that I'm Fela's lawyer. What Fela said about beast of no nation is that how animal go know say they no born me as slave. How animal go know say a slave to a dumb pass altogether. They won't give us human rights. Animal won't give us human rights.
Thank you very much.
Human rights.
Thank you very much.
All right, Femi Falana there, relishing Fela Anikulapo Kuti's line of Beast of No Nation. Well, you still listen to Michael Zekome where he'll do his own side of the Beast of No Nation, where human rights. Professor Michael Zekome talks about human rights and why you should own it. It is your property. Don't allow anybody dash you your property. Michael Zekome.
They have to make it available, please. Make it available, please. Let me first make allusion to the paper presented by the CDF, the Chief of Defense Staff, ably represented by the GOC here, when they talked about what they call national security. We have had that again and again, national security, right from the time of the Lugadian amalgamation of January 1, 1914. January 1, 1914, all the colonial masters, all the military youngsters in this country, up to the present government, they talk about national security. It is a lie. National security. The reality is that their national security is actually government security. It's not security for you and I. Many of you, when you were coming to Enugu on this journey, were you not scared? Were some of you not followed by fully armed personnel? Because there's no national security. It is just government security of those in power. to manage or mismanage your resources. That's the idea of their so-called national security. And let me also say, and I thank God that many of the officers are here representing the various securities, for as long as you do not respect citizens' rights, for as long as you do not respect lawyers' rights to practice their profession without molestation, we will continue to fight. A lawyer's fees, professional fee for doing his work, the fight will go on. EFCC seized my money, 75 million naira. I was doing a case for a client to, guess what, some lawyers were advising me, forget about the case, don't go to court. I said, when have we become so scared, so afraid that we can't even take care of our own rights as lawyers, not to talk of other citizens? If you can't fight for yourself, how can you fight for others? So when I went to court, thank God the court held up to the Court of Appeal that a lawyer does not need to know the source with which his professional fees are paid. Do you know what? Wait a moment, I've not finished. You know what they were trying to tell us, lawyers? Because I'm looking at this topic from a different perspective entirely, even from my own paper presentation, because there are realities we must face. So when a client comes to you, and after listening to his problem or her problems, and you agree on a fee, you will ask the client, hello, you are going to pay me now? Say yes. What source is the money? Supposing he tells you, I have just sold a property. Then you say, okay, can I see the papers or the property so as to be sure that the money is not laundering money? Come on, we can't go on like that. If a lawyer is paid with proceeds of crime and the lawyer is aware, don't misunderstand me, and the lawyer is aware, or maybe it's even an enabler of the payment of that proceed of crime, then such a lawyer should also answer for it. But if it is that a lawyer was honestly paid and he did not know, go after the people who paid the money, what you call the predicate offense, not the lawyer. Having said that, this rights we are talking about, rights. This is 1948, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights, the International Convention on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. These rights we are talking about, we know them, but are we enjoying them? Are we enjoying the rights? We are not enjoying the rights. When we don't have good governance, we don't have basic amenities of life, the rights mean nothing to us. Many of us here, we talk about personal or physical rights. That's the one we talk when we are talking about security. There are more important security matters that are known to you. Your emotional security, your mental security, your educational security, your job security, your economic, financial security. Many people you see are mad, they are crazy, because Nigeria has happened to them. But you don't know because they have powdered their faces, they have put on their part,
They have put their wig, and you think everybody is well? I will sit down, maybe the chairman may give me 1 or 2 minutes later. But as I go to, let me tell you, these rights we are talking about are yours for grasp. They are your right. You have freedom of speech because God gave you your mouth to speak. You have freedom of movement because He gave you your limbs to move. So they are not donated to us. That is why we say they are inalienable. And Fela put it beautifully. Human rights, now my property. Human rights, now my property. You know, give me my property. Animal won't give me my property. You cannot give me my property. Human rights, now my property. So therefore, you know, give me my property. God bless you all. We want to stand up now and stand out. But I want to say, regrettably, for too long, we have not even been standing up. We have been sitting down or even lying down. What we have been doing has been a ritual, an annual ritual of having our AGC, whether in Port Harcourt, Lagos, Abuja, Enugu. Then we are already planning for the next year.
Well, also moments there with Chief Michael Zekome, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Well, Fela's song still resonates. Beast of No Nation. You might want to go back and listen to that song again. Pay attention to the lyrical content of that song. It's your property. So don't allow anyone dash you your property. And what's that your property? It's your human right. The hall was agog. Did you see Ozekome's dance? How about Obi Ezekwesili's viewpoint on the state of the economy and the level of decadence in the judiciary under this present administration? Let's get to listen to Obi Ezekwesili.
The COVID-19, people finally realize that health is economy and economy is health. Whereas people concerned about education, you know that education is the greatest weapon through which you achieve economic and social mobility in any society. Whether it's people who are concerned about insecurity, they want law and order, what we know is that you cannot even begin to grow an economy without a stable and safe environment. And so what he did was a masterstroke. Instead of saying my opponents may be campaigning on a number of isolated issues, but I'm bringing it together and saying to you, the economy is stupid. And so why are we saying that at an MBA conference? I thought that legal people don't buy from the same market as other people. So I'm quite surprised that this is an important topic for you at your plenary. And I can simply, in one stroke, say that it is so because, Shehu, the day that I saw a middle-class Nigerian young person with a plantain, a bunch of plantain, in front of his, what they call his seat next to the driver, the front seat of his car, and he used his seatbelt to hold the plantain. And then the caption of what he posted was this. He said, I don't want to take chances with this plantain, because I know that if I put it in my boot, it may go missing. The amount that I have bought this plantain has made it so important for me, it must sit next to me. That's why you lawyers are discussing economy. Because I know that many of you are feeling the impact of price levels that rose astronomically in this country. As of 2015, inflation rate was single digit. It was about 9%. Fast forward 2 years after, inflation rate as of the time President Buhari was leaving office was from 22%. It had doubled, more than doubled. And then under the same party, the ruling party in the country, inflation rate went to as much as 33%. And in recent times, it is beginning to cool down, but it is still at a level where the middle class of Nigeria has had household income eroded. And what we say of that is that the intrinsic value of the big legal fees that you all get, especially from the political class of Nigeria. You know, you guys invited, I was sitting gently, you invited me to come to your conference. So please be ready to hear it as it is, because that's what I'm going to do here today. So suddenly, this your big money is no longer worth what it should be. And so our conversation is really about what makes economies cease to deliver. The most important conversation about economy delivering is a conversation on why is the economy that once grew in the period of almost, I would say 12 years or thereabouts, at an average rate of 6 to 7% per annum, suddenly become a laggard economy, growing at below 3%. As of the time that President Buhari was leaving office, economy had tanked so badly it was growing at about 2.3%. In recent times, the first quarter of this year, we have seen growth, technically move to about 3.3%. So when you look at that and you compare it to 6 to 7%, we're still far from where we used to be. So that should concern us, because while all of this is going on, the economy of the world is shifting. Structurally, there are different conversations that are happening as to what it would take to improve the lives of citizens of respective countries. So take, for example, this matter of education and the fact that it really is driving the economic growth and development of society. We are struggling. We're struggling with that. We're struggling with the basic issue of a stable society that offers a reason for boardrooms to vote to bring their investment to Nigeria instead of taking it to, say, Malaysia or to Chile or to Brazil. I don't even want to talk about the African countries because a number of them are equally struggling. So clearly, our conversation on the economy will not be complete without the lawyers who form the elite class of our society without the lawyers who form the elite class of our society worrying about what a stagnation of economy means or a contraction of economy means to the poor. If there's any group of people who would have learned about enlightened self-interest in their education, it would be the lawyers. The middle class that does not care what happens to the people at the bottom of the pyramid are basically setting themselves up for self-destruct. What is going on today is that while the middle class is beginning to feel the pinch of apathy towards economic governance of this society, because they were fairly comfortable. The public school system is not working, buy private education for your children. The health system is not working, find a family doctor. The insecurity is there, oh, in fact, give the Nigerian police something and you would get some accompaniment of state security. Completely lethargic to economic governance that matters for the larger number. And as a result of this, what continues to happen is poor governance entrenched poor quality choices of policies. And these poor quality choices of policies eroded anything that we have accumulated over time. Even worse is the derogation that has happened to institutions. And you shall know that without institutions that are anchored on the things you use most, the rule of law, there is absolutely no signalizing of where the rewards and the punishments in an economy would lie. And then you look at the medical profession and you say to yourself, what happened to this profession? That this profession completely immersed itself in the political rot that has led to poor choices of economic policies, where the political class have decided that it is essentially okay to just hide away the poor from our faces so we don't have to see them. You know what? I've been in Lagos for a few days now. Guess what? The poor that the middle class don't want to see are now living right.
Obieze Kwesili there. Well, interesting talking points from the NBA Annual General Conference. Now, let's reflect on that for a moment. If you're a lawyer watching or listening at this moment, think about the last time you faced a situation where the rule of law was at stake. Did you speak up? Did you act? The NBA Annual General Conference 2025 is pushing us to be proactive defenders of justice, no matter the cost. The second major takeaway was a focus on innovation, particularly the role of artificial intelligence in the legal profession. From AI-powered digital law libraries to e-filing systems and virtual hearings, technology is no longer optional. Technology is essential at this time. Technology is what? Essential at this time. One practical example came from Enugu State itself, where the governor of Enugu State, Peter Mbah, highlighted his administration's efforts to digitize courtrooms across the states, equipping them with e-filing and integrated case management systems. You see, this is not just about efficiency. It's about access to justice. So you can imagine a rural litigant who can now file a case without traveling to a city courthouse. Is that not the kind of innovation the NBA should encourage at this time? Well, NBA is encouraging lawyers to embrace it now. And for you young lawyers, especially the ones who are coming up and the ones who are just a few years in the bar, the message was clear: invest in tech skills. You know, tools like this AI-powered legal research laptop showcased at that conference, preloaded with Supreme Court judgments and drafting tools. These are game changers. You know, reading law will now be interesting. You want to read law. You see the take home there. If you want to stand out, you need to stay ahead of each tech curve. Is law becoming enticing? Is it becoming inviting? Is it becoming innovative? The third key point came from Governor Peter Mbah's speech at the opening ceremony. He reminded lawyers that the law is more than a profession. It is the conscience of the nation. It was a powerful moment. Governor Mbah emphasized that a fair, functional, and trusted justice system is the foundation for development, from smart schools to safe communities. You know, this take-home point challenges lawyers to see themselves as more than courtroom advocates. Lawyers are meant to be architects of peace, defenders of truth, and champions of equity. Well, the keynote address speaker, Comrade Malema from South Africa, in his address at that event was a standout moment. You know, he called out for African unity. You know, when you talk about African unity, there used to be the OAU, which later transmodified to the African Union. OAU, Organization of African Unity, and then later on to the African Union. You know, I remember back in the day, late Colonel Muammar Gaddafi of Libya championed a united Africa. Is a united Africa possible? It is possible. But will the West accept a united Africa? Well, Malema urged lawyers to champion economic justice and protect African sovereignty. Is Africa sovereign? Do we have leaders in Africa that are selfish? Do we have leaders in Africa that are intellectually lazy? Malema's vision of a borderless Africa with a single currency and single parliament sparked lively debates among delegates. And the take-home here is that collaboration, whether among Nigerian lawyers or across the continent, can drive transformative change. Are you ready to change? Are you ready to embrace this change? Well, it's the agenda. And I am Chike Ubogu. It was just an overview of the NBA, that's the Nigerian Bar Association Annual General Conference held in Enugu. You can follow us on all our social media platforms, on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Dominion Broadcast. On the app X, it is at Dominion Cast. Follow us on our website, beg your pardon. Our website is at www.dominion.org.ng. Once again, Chike Ubogu is my name. Stay positive and have a great day.